Dustin.
Yes.
Not your first time, not even your second time doing this,
No.
but a little bit's changed
Yeah.
since the last few times. It's probably been like a yearish, I'd say, since we did.
Yeah.
You're now an official alumni.
I am.
Yeah, your alma mater of
Yeah.
recovery resources. What's that look like today?
It's good, man. I get to where I'm at now, or what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I think I moved out in July, and it's November, December now, and it was good, man. I got a trailer now. I got my daughter and my grandson staying with me
24/7.
24/7 right now. Yeah, and also in July I started working for Carter County Drug Prevention.
Nice.
I left White's Construction. Shout out Bustle.
What do you do at Carter County?
So I have a super long job title.
Yeah.
It's called Prevention and Recovery Sports and Fatherhood Events Coordinator.
Wow, that is a mouthful.
Yeah.
What's like your key responsibilities?
So there's several things that try to make sure is, of course, one is like the fatherhood program is super, like, it's important to me, and I try to put a lot of time and energy in it, but also like these awesome like sporting events that we get to do and fundraisers and all the events and just these different aspects of it that it's awesome because a lot of times it doesn't feel like it's a job, like I have to do, like it's work.
Isn't that like the best kind of job though?
Yeah, because it is, and there's also like this part of it's guilt, like I feel like I should be, because you have this like stuff in your head of what work should be.
Oh yeah, because it's like old ideas, my
Yeah.
experience. But really, this is a perfect example of if you build it, they'll come. Because you were doing these things before, and somebody saw that and said, "We need to fund this. We need to
Yeah.
create."
Yeah,
more
I
of
was
this."
I was doing this stuff. We did flag football last year, and we did basketball earlier this year, and we did these events, and
What is that? Where'd that inspiration come from?
to do.
Well, the flag football was to
So the
fund.
flag football was to raise money to go into the treatments, Mag Ridge, Willow. We raised money to go in there because I was in there on Christmas and I knew what it was like to kind of just sit in there and feel like you suck at life because once again, it's another holiday that you don't get to do anything with your kids.
Yeah.
And so I actually texted him and gave him some credit a couple months ago because I wanted to do something for Christmas last year, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. And my good buddy Riley Clifton, I talked to him about it, and he was like, well, if you want to do something, why don't you go into the treatment centers because you know what that's like. And I was like, and I never actually like told him like you're the big reason, like what pointed me. I knew I wanted to do something, but what he said that day kind of pointed it in that direction, and things just kind of snowballed since then because we raised, like last year, I think it was like a little over $3,000, and we were able to go to Mag and Willow and help some recovery resource houses guys and a couple Bridge to Shore girls. Like we were able to help them maybe not be able to do much with their kids that year for Christmas. We were able to help them, like just be able to give them something to be like, here, you get to give something to your kids for Christmas this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So this whole time it's been about parent and
Yeah.
child reunification for you in a way.
Yeah, because as bad as it, like I think about not being there as often as like I felt like I should have or even wanted to, because I didn't want to, honestly. For a long time I didn't care if I was or not, and then I get sober and I realize like, man, I missed out on all these cool things. And then I learned early on that it's not about giving them things, it's not about doing things, it's just like, and I preach it all the time to a lot of the guys that I talk to, being present and just being consistent. Like that's what meant the most to my kids is when Dad says, hey man, I'll see you at your game Friday, and I show up. Like that means so much to them to look out and just see
Dad's there.
Dad's there when he wasn't there before. Or, hey, I'll be there to pick you up at 2, and at 2 I'm there. And it's just being present and consistent. Like I don't have to show up with gifts every time. Just go up there and just spending time with them. And
which is yeah, that's more than half the battle from what I understand.
mm-hmm.
How is it that if at all that well you have a brainchild like we just talked about, but
Mm-hmm.
like a mothership of like the flag
Mm-hmm.
ship, if you want to, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
What's the title of that program?
It's so we call it League of Ordinary Gentlemen fatherhood program, and that's like the thing that it's like the closest to my heart and the thing that I get super passionate about because I lived it. And you want me to go in more about it? Or?
Go ahead.
Okay. So I lived, so being in recovery resources and sober living, Craig and Tabitha were like extremely supportive. Like, we want you to see your kids, see your kids. Sometimes it wasn't that easy to just be like, I want to go see my kids this weekend. Okay, cool. Go see your kids. Well, like, what am I supposed to do with them? Like, I don't have anywhere to go with them. I don't have anything. I can't afford anything to do with them. And like, what's the goal of like?
How can I develop being present and consistency
Like,
in this setting?
Well, and especially early on, I didn't even really know what that looked like. And like, I was fortunate enough to like the first little bit. I was fortunate enough to have a kid's mom that was willing enough to let me come and sleep on their couch to see my kids, no matter what was going on with us. Sometimes it was good and it was fine. Sometimes it was uncomfortable to just sit there and know that, like, no matter what me and her have going on, she was still willing enough to let me come sleep on the couch.
Yeah.
Just to see them.
Yeah.
And then a lot of people don't have that.
It's facts. So like, what is it that you're trying to do with this program? Is it a program?
It is. We're starting.
Is it a belief system? Like what
No,
actually?
So what it is
Is it a cult?
No, I mean, I don't think so. So what the whole program is like, it's just that. Like, it's just what I was talking about. It's you want to see your kids, or you want to be able to do something with your kids that weekend.
Yeah, it sounds like helping fathers or parents rather,
Yeah,
but
like
define who they are and refine.
And maybe even like repair the relationship and reconnect with their kids, because some parents and dads or whatever in addiction, they start using when their kids like 5-6 years old, and then now their kids 10 or 11, and you're just learning how to like
be a human yourself.
Be a human yourself. So how can I not be awkward with my 11-year-old when I haven't been around them? And that's tough. And one of the things that I learned is like, my kids are their own thing. Like, they're gonna have their own. They're not robots. They're just gonna feel how I feel, how I expect them to feel. They're gonna have their own emotions, and they're gonna have their own like anger, awkward, anxiety, whatever. Like, they're gonna have all these feelings too. So if it's awkward for me to be around my kids and I don't know how to do anything, how do they feel?
So we're out here shaping dads.
Hopefully, like, we're trying to help.
Well, and generations of kids, if you want to go that far with it. But what are some of like you think the benefits of it at its current stage?
So right now we have a couple things going on. We do the dad support group every Thursday, and what that is it's just really like a group of dads that come in and like they share struggles, like what they got struggling with, like my kids won't talk to me, my kids this, or like we have several different like perspectives. Like, we have one that's a step parent, one that's their kids live out of town, one that's got different situations going on with their kids, and you get all these different perspectives and stuff. But we also we really love to hear like the successes. Like, man, we had one dude that come in and shared about like, I finally got visitation back with my kids, and he's like, I finally got custody, and then like it was so cool for him to come in and be like, dude, they actually sent me my kid's birth certificate and social security card, so I have that stuff now because I'm her custodial parent. And from like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, wasn't even allowed visitation. So like, that's cool stuff that we want to hear about. And then there's other stuff like we have a whole it's like a dad closet is what we call it, and it's just full of like we got toys in there. We got like stuff like diapers, wipes, lotions, clothes, games, just things, toys, just different things that if you don't think about, toothbrushes, toothpaste. I got my kids for the weekend, and I
The
can't
nuance of things.
Yeah, things that you overlooked.
But you also got some like cool stuff you're able to like tickets to. Like,
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We have another thing. So we also have a folder that's like I've been blessed enough to reach out to a lot of these organizations and businesses and all this stuff that's like, hey, we're starting this dad program. Like, would you be willing to help us try to reconnect parents? And like we have, for example, like these places in Gatlinburg, it's the NASCAR Speed Park, the Knoxville Zoo, places like the Hands-On Museum in Johnson and Gray, all these things that's donated like passes to be like, yes, like we want to support what you do. You can give these to your parents, the dads that come to do it with their kids, and like we get to get out. Like there's movie theater tickets, we got tickets to barter, and there's different things. It's just like, here, bro, go. Don't use I can't do anything. I can't afford anything this weekend to not do something with your
So
kid.
like you've developed a closet and a folder that literally takes away any excuse.
Yeah, exactly. Like don't use, man, I can't afford it or I can't do anything. Don't use that as an excuse to not be present with your kids.
Yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, like
have you been doing this long enough to maybe have an idea of the gravity of importance, or maybe how to articulate how important it is for a father or to any parent to be a part of their child's life?
Yeah, I mean, I like to think so because like it's so important for these kids to have. I mean, any parent.
Well, maybe okay.
Yeah.
What do you think a dad does being present?
I mean, not just the dad, but like I saw something on Facebook the other day, and it was like you're shaping someone's childhood, and like that hits because like so a lot of these kids have like these childhood traumas and all these things, and like if you're able to be a present part of your kid's life and show them that, like especially coming back from addiction, because like my kids have all these core memories of not great dad, passed out doing whatever, like all these things, and now like I don't know, I can't put it in words. Like it's
no, it's perfect. I feel like we live in currently in a society that is like we do what we want, or everybody's like an individual, and ultimately we start doing what we want is more valuable than what is right or what is good, and we all just kind of accept part of that in a way. And like what I see what you're doing, what your flagship and what you're celebrating and what ultimately what you're trying to support is, how do I do the right thing in the face of all of this adversity, fear, confusion, and what is the right thing regardless of how I feel about it or look at it. And I think it's amazing because I think a lot of us grew up in a situation where we didn't have, like the strongest family units ourselves, and we're not trying to pass that on. We're trying to take responsibility for that, and then, as you said so elegantly, or Facebook, I guess, is shape somebody else's childhood so they can, have that opportunity.
Yep, and I've had to like relearn a lot of the ways that I thought about, I guess, parenting, because, there for a long time it was like you do as I tell you, and if you don't, I'm gonna bust your butt or something, ground you, bust you, something, because I overlooked the fact that like they're their own people, that they have the same emotions as I do, and if I like when these people that I'm around, like Julian, like Tabitha, all these people that I've learned these things from, then it's like your kids, like if I tell them, I don't care what you say, doesn't matter, you're going to do what I tell you. Well, like sooner or later, I mean, isn't that devaluing yourself and your opinion? And these kids grow up thinking, well, nothing I say matters because anything I said to my dad or my mom, they told me it didn't matter. I do as I told. So, like, how are they expect to have their own voice or have their own opinions if they're told their whole life it doesn't matter?
Yeah, exactly. Which I feel like in part, all of us probably have to that in some degree.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, and I still have to work on that to be like, I don't care what you say, you're going to do it because I'm your dad.
How is it that what you do, like, is partnering with a soft partnership or a full
Yeah.
on partnership with Recovery Resources? Like, where is that
So
symbiotic?
it's it's fully like support. Like Tabitha and Craig have fully supported like everything with the program. Like they're there. I'm trying to word this. uh, they fully like support what we do and support the program and support anything, and they're always there if I'm like, hey, I need help with something. She's like, they're always willing to like let the guys come do things or the events. Like most of the time, the whole program, like the whole support group, the majority of it is guys that's in Recovery Resources houses.
Ah,
Like like it's we get 10 or 13 guys on a night, like say 80% of it, they're either guys that are in the houses now or alumni that have went through Recovery Resources. And it's cool to, I feel like it may be in some sort of way seeing the stuff that like, that it's not just as simple as we'll go see your kids this weekend. Like maybe it showed them like, well, maybe, you know what I mean? There could be more that could be done to try to help this stuff going on.
absolutely.
And it's great to have their support and the things that we're able, like we try to work together, like everything we do, like include Recovery Resources, because it's close to me because I was one of those guys that was in the house. Like I had Tabitha and Craig's support and had everything that like if I needed something, they were there to help me. But I felt like it was a need that nobody knew there was a need, I guess, because it's not that simple. Like I said, a lot of guys don't have a baby's mama's couch to sleep on just to spend time with their
Absolutely.
kids. A lot of guys don't have, hey, you can see your kids this weekend, or you're going to get visitation with your kid this weekend, but like there's nothing you can do. Like
Yeah.
you don't have anything. And one of the things that I would eventually like to help, whatever we all can help, like transportation is a huge problem when people need to see their kids. And I mean, it's a problem in the recovery community regardless of transportation, but that's a whole other can of worms. But
No, that was my next question. Like, where are you wanting to see this grow towards, and how could?
yeah, so what I would like I would love to see it grow towards like say somebody can come up and be like, I have a visitation, but I can't stay at the house with my kid because it's a sober living house, or I can't do this. Like I would love to have enough whatever built up to be like, okay, well, we can put you in a room for tonight so you can spend the night with your kid and have an overnight visit with your kid, or you know, I don't know, like that. That's a great thing, because that's something that you don't think about either. Is like you have nowhere to stay with your kids, so
Yeah.
I would
What
love
do you
to
do?
do that and just see it grow to like I have.
You're going to be the. It sounds like you're trying to create a foundation and maybe even some help on some framework of how to be a parent, so we can set some structure in place,
Yeah,
and then grow from that.
and I would love to like. We're in the process already of like doing the classes which you're able to like teach for parenting classes and stuff, where like court ordered stuff where they're like, man, I gotta have a parenting class,
Ah,
and we're already in the process of like,
getting certified
Yeah.
to be able to be the parenting class.
yeah, so like you need a parenting class for your court. Well, okay,
But that also exposes them to everything else that you have going on as well.
Yeah.
Gosh,
yeah,
that's
like
so good.
it bleeds all into everything. Like, well, I need a parenting class for my kids. Okay, well, if you need a parenting class, then you're going to lead into visitation with your kids. Well, visitation's not just I got all the money and funds and resources to do this stuff. Well, we can help you do that too. And
Can I nurture? Can
Yeah.
I be like yeah.
yeah, and then there's like we're in the process of doing like these day camps. That's, hey, some of us don't know how to be a parent to a little girl because we don't know how to do these things, and we don't know how to talk to our kids, and we don't know how to do these things because we come in and like, I actually got to say this to somebody the other day of, we hear this word entitlement around a lot in recovery. Like, well, that's your entitlement showing and stuff. I kind of does that as a dad too, because I'm in recovery. I'm your dad. I haven't seen you in 2 years, but you're going to respect me because I'm your dad. Well, that's a little bit of entitlement because you haven't earned any respect from your kids. you haven't been a present dad enough to be, I'm your dad, you're going to do this. So like, it kind of goes hand in hand. And
I love that. How can people be involved if they want to be?
so, I mean, really, like, and you can be involved in any way just by like reaching out. You can reach out to through Facebook, or like, we love to see people come out to the dad support group every Thursday at 7:30 at the downtown office in Elizabethton. Uh, and you don't have to be in recovery or to come to the, like, if you just want to come and just hang out and see what it's about. And we always take new donations for the dad closet. We always take new donations for the dad closet because, I mean, there's so much cool stuff in there right now, and the more we get, the more people we're able to help, and we can get the word out of, hey, well, this is what we're doing. People are gonna take advantage. Like, just the last few weeks, I've had more people ask for help the last 3 weeks out of the closet than we've had the last 2 months.
Nice.
And we always take donations for that stuff, new donations, and then the dad group, and just like, spread the word. Like we're here to help. That's all it is. And we don't want nothing. We just want you to come get help so you can be a part of your kid's life.
I love that. Thank you for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
Dude.